you like, how do you view social media? Do you, almost look to, do you have a conscious awareness on your personal brand and how you share your story in a way that it might inspire and make you seem more approachable, going back to your, former point?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a big LinkedIn fanatic. That's where my social media sort of content creation comes into it. And communication is a big part of my role. I've worked in public affairs my entire career and on the policy side. But in more recent roles as well, I've also been sort of managing communications. So yeah, social media and the sort of digital age is a big part of what I do. And yeah, personal brand, absolutely. But I think for me, I'm just quite open about my vulnerabilities.
Mm-hmm.
I've come forward as well and talked about my imposter syndrome
Mm-hmm.
several times, and
Mm-hmm.
I think professionals coming into the industry, particularly women, really appreciate this. Just to sort of say, I don't always get it right. I do a lot of public speaking, and sometimes I've fallen really flat on my face, but it hasn't stopped me from coming back. It's okay. Your career isn't going to end. You're allowed to mess up sometimes. You're only human. And I think I'm just very, I think I'm just very open, and I use my platform
Mm-hmm.
to be quite open and just stay connected. And I think that's really probably why that's probably why I get approached as well. That I think that's definitely the rapport that I build with people that I do connect with. I think they really resonate with that.
But what I find quite funny is that with a lot of, I think far too many people in the engineering sector are still men. And obviously I am a man, I can't do anything about that. But it's almost, how do you feel that we can almost attract more women into the sector? I know it's a classic question, but just, is it a case of highlighting different people and personalities and showing the roles and showing the story about how people can kind of get involved?
I think so. I think open dialogue is always going to be really important. I also think sort of ways to sort of get involved in the sector as well. I mean, I think I'll go back to this. For me, it was always like higher education
Mm-hmm.
is the only choice I have, and I think that's a lot to do with cultural background as well. That was drilled into me from a really young age, and it's sort of like, again, we're living in times where it's not just about that's higher education isn't for everyone. So what about apprenticeship schemes, work experience, and the mentoring and pairing people up to educate? I think it has to be a real mixture of things to attract diversity, and whether that's gender diversity or whether that's ethnic diversity, but or just individuals. I think unique qualities also means diversity as well. So I think it's just kind of creating space and dialogue to invite people into the sector and really making them aware that you don't have to tick certain boxes to enter the sector. I think that's what we really need to put out there a bit more.
Almost at my first interview of 2022, and I'm not normally this organised, is a trans lady called Jo, and we're going to talk about diversity and inclusion. I saw her speak about it at a conference last month, and honestly, I was captivated. So I wanted to use my platform, as small as it is, on this, just to kind of talk about it because I'm passionate about it. And it's that, I think the big thing is that people nowadays, especially with kind of cancel culture, people are often worried sometimes to speak up because they're worried about people shooting them down. And when you say about imposter syndrome, people might say, well, who the hell do you think you are to talk about these things? But you want to get, I think you have to just be passionate enough to want to get involved and shine a light on things that you're passionate about.